in a minute. Woo. Shut up when I'm sipping. Woo. Look at how I'm living. Woo. Everything different.
So we talked about hip hop and
When
why
hip
do I
hop
always get confused?
is that what? When hip hop meets mental health.
When hip hop meets mental health, I always get PTSD to me. That's where it is at. But now that we spoke about that, because mental health, we always talk how important that is. Because mentally, if your mental health is not right, nothing kind of makes sense to you, right? So we definitely spoke, and you were like, Casey, we have to talk. We finally have to sit down because we've been trying to do this for a while now since we've been working together. But the recent events that have taken place with PNB Rock and Takeoff, I know when we spoke, it was very still devastating to you. And you said one thing that kind of it pierced me again when you was like, it feels like I went through it it felt like I lost my son all over again.
Because the truth about that is,
Look, my hairs are standing up.
when they go, the piece of his story that was with them is gone. So all the people he was in a relationship with that are taken, I feel the loss. I'm never going to get an opportunity to talk to that person, to hear the story, to hear that side of my child, And then having met them, I can't. It's just, it really is. And I wanted to go live, but then sometimes it's like, what do you say? We have got to stop. We have got to figure out how to help our children stop killing one another.
I think we're doing it. We're doing it. And for you, I know when we talk, you was like, I feel like it's not quick enough. Like it's something that we're not doing, right? That was one of the things. It was like, but if we look at it, is we're starting to create these safe spaces for our young ones first. First, we have to capture the young ones. We have to show them a better way.
Right.
The communicating, the how to express your anger, how to let someone know that they made you angry without making them even more, them angry. And, doing the back and forth. It's expression. Freedom of expression, but not, how do you say, offending anyone, you always say. And I feel like we started. We're on a mission for that. But what else do you feel like we can do with artists now that are on the level of pop and that are for them, for a message to get to them, something that you can say from you?
But it's the same sacred space. It's the same space or the same concept of sacred space, that it's a place where they can feel safe and say and do. They're cultured in a cesspool of hatred and backbiting and all of that stuff. And so it's kind of natural for them to be that way, but it doesn't have to be that way. And if it has to be that way, then you don't always have to be that way, right? You need to be able to learn how to code switch and feel safe and sure in yourself that you're not losing anything by not being like that.
Right.
It's being able to kind of stand up for yourself and know that if in this moment you quote unquote lose something because you honored you, that stuff is coming back to you. You ain't lost nothing. Because that thing that you lost wasn't yours.
Right.
And that's a difficult place when you're talking about money and surviving and living, and young men who are coming from situations, and some of the girls too, who are coming from situations where they don't have or didn't have.
Right.
And now they're in a place where they've got something and they don't want to lose that. And they've been told the only way to not lose that is to take down the person who has it. You mean in this whole world, there's not enough for everybody to eat?
Right.
Everybody could eat. everyone can eat.
I
And Shar had that concept because he was pulling people with him, and people said to him, management said to him, you can't bring people in, they're going to steal your thunder. And he was like, nah, it's okay.
Can't do that.
You know what, they can't steal my thunder because this, when I'm finished with it, belongs to somebody else. Because he was going somewhere.
Right.
This wasn't the stop.
Right.
And so maybe that's what we can do for the young people who are in it right now. To teach them how to grow their money. Because we know how to spend it.
Right.
'Cause everybody flat.
Right.
500, 600, 700. And that's good. Because, you know what I'm saying? When you're there and you can get it, by all means.
Right.
But you've got to grow that thing.
Right.
So that, if something happens, you still have.
Right.
And I think that's what needs to be done. And I remembered you saying that's kind of what you did. That you found the young people and kind of put them in a space where you kind of cleaned them up and gave them some information and some knowledge about how to survive and how to be and how to present themselves. And then gave them a space to do their talent. That's awesome stuff.
I was just gonna say that I feel like that's my part. I think that's why it makes me feel so good. Like sometimes people don't understand it is, like, are you making a lot of money? It's not about that for me. I feel like every time I stay true to myself and what makes me feel good, money comes in just pouring. So I feel like I always, and it shows with the events, it shows with everything that I do, because of my intentions of when I do them. Like when we first spoke about the experience this year, the main thing I said was I wanted to make it bigger and I wanted to actually hand out awards and I wanted to actually, and I don't even think you realized it because when you were there, you was like, who handed out these awards? You did that too? I was like, what do you think I was telling you the whole time? Like you literally was like blown out of your mind.
Well, girl, you realize you went from like, I'm not going to say zero, but you went from like
it was 30 days. 30 days.
Not 30 days from the point that I met you.
Oh.
And then COVID hit us.
Right.
And your work and your intentions from when we met to the next time you were able to do it again? Come on now.
Yeah, that's definitely God on my side and the people that obviously been gravitating to the energy that I'm exuding because you guys are exuding it as well. So like I said, that was a very important moment. Like I really was stressed out for 30 days. Like I always say 30 days. My team, Jay, and I mean, we literally worked for 30 days. Me even having things doing during the day. It was just a focus that we had. We had intentions. We had intentions on every artist that definitely said that they were going to be in the building and they wanted to perform. And I knew that they deserved a place on that stage. I wanted to make the best out of it. And with everyone saying how the energy was in the room, my main thing is I go to showcases all the time. I go to these type of events all the time. And I just don't feel the genuine support from one artist to another. And that's where I feel is the disconnect in a lot of shows. Because you'll have one artist paying for a show, then you'll have one artist that comes in free, right? Because they have awareness, they're very popular. And then that artist will leave while this artist is performing. You get what I'm saying? And it's not a genuine want to stay and support.
Yeah.
For some odd reason, and I'm not gonna say odd, but every time the experience comes around, everyone is literally intrigued at everyone. And if they have to leave, it's like, oh my God, I gotta leave, I gotta go to work. I can't finish seeing these artists because they are so, I really take the time with the team to curate and a show, entertainment, something that you're gonna look at and say, why didn't I know this artist? Why didn't I see this artist? And literally this artist has been working for years. You're just now realizing who they are.
But yes, it's a part of your intentional curation, right? It's also who you are. right? If they're in your space, they become they take on your energy. Right? I realized that as a teacher when I taught elementary school, that the different children in the different classrooms
Affected
took
you in
on the
different ways.
personalities of their teachers. If the teacher was an arts and craft person, everybody in the class was drawing and glittering, and I remember one young lady, she was a very strong Christian. Her faith was very important to her, and in her classroom, the children were laying hands and praying. Because that's just who she was. It wasn't so much that she was making them do that, right? And then in my classroom, they were a little bit of activists. Because it's like, don't let me hear that something happened to your classmate and you didn't show up, right? So they take on your energy, and when they meme your values, and because you're sowing into them, they give it back. I mean, Obasi has said that about even when he's doing the showcases, and he tells us to come from the beginning. And so when and I used to think that because he was last, my poor baby, he's last. And I didn't understand. And he would not say what his position meant. His whole thing was come at the beginning and see everybody. And that's, again.
That was the show we went to too. Remember, he wanted us to be there early.
Yeah.
So I see recently Hip Hop Homicides. I seen you there. I was so surprised. I didn't even know you were on when we was talking. Like, you just literally told me. He was like, I'm on there. I was like, what? I definitely have to see it now. So with Hip Hop Homicides, because I know when we spoke, it was really like fresh. You really weren't talking to anyone. And a lot of the, a lot of the questions they asked you, you really like sat with me and told me those same exact things. For me, it was just, I feel like you were in a more comfortable space now. Like you were used to talking and expressing like how your feelings are towards, just the whole situation that happened with Pop. What did you get out of Hip Hop Homicides? Like, what do you think would be the positive that comes out of Hip Hop Homicides? Because there's going to be, continuous episodes after Pop as they have.
There's some other artists. Right.
What do you see the positive that's coming out of that show?
Well, hopefully, the young people will get to see a different side of things. And I'll be honest, I didn't watch it, and I can't watch it. So I can't. I can't watch it. But I appreciated the fact that 50 kind of gave the new guys a chance, right? So the kids can kind of see then and now that they get to see who these young men were, right? I didn't really I wasn't conscious of the Tupac, stuff like that.
But
Biggie. So I don't know how it played out. Right?
You remember me telling you, it's like, for me, I felt like Pop was definitely a real remembrance of how we felt when Biggie left us. Like, I feel like it was this generation's loss of what we felt like when we lost Biggie. Because it was just so fresh. It was just like we were just starting to like do the major support and then like, this is ours. Like, he's representing us. So I feel like these kids, and then when my daughter, like I told you, when my daughter went through it, the first thing, and then that's what I'm saying, it was all kind of, obviously it was God's work, but it was, at that time, it was really weird to me because it was like, oh, this is how I felt when it happened. I didn't realize like how it affected me because, you look at yourself as an adult right. What did I actually go through when this happened? And, her tears and I'm like, oh, it really, like, it was just like a flashback. Like this is, and I just was trying to find the things to console her, to like, I didn't know what to do. So I just felt like it was just like replaying all over again for us. And the difference that I feel like is we have you being very vocal and creating these safe spaces and making a difference for the next generation that needs to hear these positive messages. That's the big difference I see now. So I think it's really special that we have you here and we have you discussing mental health. We have you discussing safe spaces because this is what's going to make the difference.
I hope
that we
so.
see.
I hope so.
I'm
just, sometimes I'm just moving because, you can't hit a moving target doesn't feel. But I really do hope it is making some difference and there's an impact that'll change somebody's life. That'll make somebody think twice. That'll make someone in the industry goes, okay, I got to take care of this one.
So and so.
And not see dollar signs when you see a human being.
Right.
Because I promise you, if you don't see dollar signs, you'll make more money. Because money cometh.
Right.
It'll come.
And before we go, right, if there is something that you can tell the people that are viewing this that have lost someone very special to them, because I know this is a process that you've been going through and that we talk all the time, and I always tell you, like, I honor your strength. You give me strength all the time. You're a mentor to me, and you don't even realize it sometimes. Like, what can you tell someone that helped you through this journey of healing from this loss that can help them?
Honor what you're feeling. I think culturally, especially as Christians, because there's a great by and by, the great getting up morning, we let it go, and because we're going to see them in the afterlife. And while that is a belief and is a truth, right now you don't feel so good. Right now you want your person with you.
Right.
So, don't kind of bleed on somebody that didn't cut you, but own your space and do not allow others to make you feel badly about your grief, your mourning, the way you show up for your loss. Because I do believe that we're not given the right tools to deal with loss.
Right.
Maybe as Westerners. I think in other cultures, maybe a little bit more so.
And that was definitely one of our, remember that conversation we had when we were talking about the cleaning? Remember? We were talking about the bathroom, and you was like, she's not going to touch the bathroom.
Absolutely not.
And can we share that? Is it because this is what people really go through when they lose someone. I don't want to touch his room. I don't want to touch anything that he touched. I don't want to, and like I told you, you go through that process and don't feel like it's time or let anyone rush you into that, because that's normal. That is something that you have to do, and that's what you're telling someone. You feel what you have to feel. It's not for anyone else to feel it or to understand it. You know what you have to do.
And what also can be helpful is to kind of research how other people, how other cultures deal with loss. Because that's been an amazing thing to me. And sometimes when we have a particular faith practice, we don't want to, look at another faith practice because it is sacrilegious, especially Christians. And I am, and probably will always be. But I have to explore now what my Christianity, what my Christian walk looks like. Because when I was going through, it couldn't comfort me, then I got to look at that, right? And just because you look at another faith practice and how they deal with loss doesn't mean you're going to give up yours.
Right.
It could help you fold into.
Right.
It
could help you customize the way you,
there you go.
for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that'll be your Christian
The way
walk.
right.
So just own your stuff and be okay with it.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share with anyone?
This is I show up because I need to. I don't know how else to do this. I thank you all for your love and support, and it never fails to just blow my mind when someone tells me how much he's changed their lives. So just hang in there with us. Wherever you are in the world, we're coming soon. I promise you. Someone from the Netherlands, she called me. What is that? DM me? Is that what that is?
Stop. We are not doing this right now.
And she asked when we were coming to Europe. And I was like, soon, because we're going to Europe. And then I asked her, where in Europe are you from? And she said, the Netherlands. I was like, that wasn't the answer I was expecting. UK, Paris, maybe, but she said the Netherlands. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Now we gotta go to the Netherlands.
But just thank you for the love and support, and thank you for being there. It helps. It helps.
And I want to thank you. Like I said, you're saying we help you, but I just seeing you be so strong and you continue to pour into us. When you're empty at times and you feel like you can't go, you're still pouring into people. So I think for me, that's just so amazing. That's why I always look at you like, ah. as much as we could be unorganized sometimes and we're going crazy, I just hold you up, to a certain light, because you do shine that light on me all the time. When I feel like I can't do it, I feel like, Mama Smoke doing it. What I look like saying, thinking I can't get through this? If she could get through it, I could get through it. So, give me a hug. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. We got some more. Don't worry. We got some more coming because this is my girl. So we're going to leave. We want you to go check out shootforthestarsfoundation.org. We want you to subscribe. Definitely, we want you to have a lot of updates on what we got going on with the kids, especially in the Canarsie area. So if you have any kids in the Canarsie area right now, we're expanding. But right now, we really want to take care of kids in the Canarsie area. So if you're in the Canarsie area and you have a kid that would like to join the program, please make sure to contact us. Where do they go?
They go right at the website.
Go to the website.
Just kind of get in there and give the information. We always have somewhere where you can contact us, and someone's always looking at that information.
Oh, and shout out to the Sean Carter Foundation, because we definitely have united with the Sean Carter Foundation, and they are definitely helping us with our kids as well.
Absolutely. We are. I'm excited about that.
So we thank you guys. We love you, and we're out.
Shut up when I'm sipping. Look at how I'm living. Everything different.